What's up, guys? My name's Taylor. If you found this video, thanks for clicking on it. This is actually going to be the first video on my channel where I'm just excited to kind of track the progress of a beginner disc golfer. I've been playing for only 4 or 5 months now, so hopefully you guys are going to kind of grow with me and get to see how I progress. Today is just going to be a casual round at my local course. Going to play through the front 9, talk a little bit about myself, talk about elevation discs as well, as they're totally the reason that this first video is possible. And so we're going to kind of just play through and see what happens. We've got 2 different materials we're going to be messing with today. We've got more on the floppy side is their Glow G, and more on the stiff side we've got their Eco Flex. I'm going to go 2 off the top on hole 1 here. It's a 400-foot shot. It's pretty windy because I wanted to test, how well these things are going to hold up in the cold, in the wind. So far I can tell you already, the grip is still holding strong even though it's cold. Don't have as much feeling in my fingers as I typically would, but the grip is still strong on these, which helps out a ton. I'm not expecting too much. I don't really know. We're going to see how these things fly. We'll go 2 off the top. All right, so we're gonna take that first shot with this Glow G Binks. As you can see, it's really floppy. So, I was surprised with how well it held up in the headwind. It's a slightly understable fairway driver, so I think it flipped over maybe even a little bit more than it would, obviously, without a headwind. Whereas this Gecko really fought the headwind even more than I thought it would. Kind of just wanted to dump out left. As I get more familiar with the discs, I'll kind of rip into them a little more. Just for reference, we're right about behind this first tree. Typically with the distance driver on this hole, I'd go just over the creek. It would make it well past all 4 of these trees on the right, and I'd have some kind of a look up there by the basket for eagle, or at least an easy birdie. This is a par 4, so we're gonna see if we can get up and down with one of our putters and take the birdie on hole 1. Go arowana, slightly stable. All right, got about, somewhere 25, 30 feet. We've got an arowana and a koi to putt with today, both Eco Flex, so they're a little on the stiffer side. Still very just flexible. I'm going to be putting with both of these today so you guys can kind of get a feel for how they might fly for you. All right, hole 1, 1 down. All right, hole 2, I usually play the hyzer gap. It's a low ceiling, so I just kind of throw something fast and overstable that I know is going to get out there and then get a big flare skip, hit the basket plenty of times on this line. It's going to be a little harder today. The tee pad's pretty rough, so I'm going to have to stand off to the side with all these trees right here in my way. We're going to see how the Gecko holds up to the similar line that I typically throw. All right, so I ended up hitting that tree in the middle, but it'll be an easy par from there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw with the arowana, similar to the last hole. Just like that little consistent fade at the end, and just sticks where it lands. I will throw a second shot with another Glow G super flippy, or at least super floppy koi, just so you guys can see how it flies in the wind. It went really high on that one. The wind really lifted it. Try and keep this low. And that time the wind dropped it. All right. Left with 18 feet or so. Again, I'm going to putt with both. All right, so another thing I really wanted to point out, elevation discs obviously are going to be mainly known for using rubber. So what that's going to do is it's going to help it stick where it lands rather than getting big rollaways, big skips. Same thing if you hit trees, anything you don't want to hit, it's not really going to bounce too far away. It's most of the time going to kind of drop. But another thing that I've really liked about their putters is how well it grabs the chains. Both of those putts, I wasn't very far away, but still, they kind of were both misses left. Both of them were able to grab, though, and just drop in. And I've actually seen that pretty consistently. All right, hole 3, pretty low ceiling the whole way, just slight anhyzer. There's a Mando left of this tree, so you really can't take the hyzer route. We're going to go again with the glow binks and see how it does. Okay, I want to say I'm maybe 10 feet past pin high, and I ended up pretty far left, but we'll have a look. All right, we've probably got, again, somewhere 25 to 30 feet. One thing I will point out, again, with the Glow G plastic, definitely more floppy than the EcoFlex. What that has done for me so far is it's really more susceptible to what the wind wants to do to it. On that shot, I'm not sure if you could tell on camera, but it really looked like it wanted to turn right towards the basket. The wind, however, was blowing right to left, didn't allow it to turn, and it kind of just ended up way over here, which I haven't seen much of with the EcoFlex. Couple putts. Gonna start with the Arowana again. All right, so both just a little high. All right, so we're 1 down so far through 3. This course, not super well. Those last 2 holes especially were a little on the easier side. On this one, we've got just a slight hyzer. I'm gonna try this gecko again, keep it nice and low, and see what that does to, you know, the amount of fade that it's gonna have. Hopefully it's not gonna be as aggressive if it's nice and low to the ground. So yeah, that looked a lot more just kind of smooth, a little bit glidier than it has looked so far. We should have maybe a 20-footer for birdie. All right. Cruised right up here to about another 15, 18-footer, whatever this is. We'll go with both of our putters. All right, hole 5. I'm gonna go with the gecko again. This is a nice, wide open, just straight shot. Typically though, I've found better success going right, kind of under that slingshot tree, all the way around past that last tree and playing the skip. Gotten very close to acing on this hole several times. The gecko, we're gonna see if I can get it close to that second tree, but I'm thinking it's gonna kind of curve around that first one and still be about 60 short. All right, totally missed the line, but we're in the open. Can't complain. All right, we're kind of nice and wide open. Haven't done an upshot with the koi yet, so I'm going to kind of showcase that a little bit. Definitely straighter than the Arowana. Gonna maybe give it a floaty bit. And I'm about 15 deep. Okay, so that koi shot on the last hole did land a little bit in the water, but I have also played around with these like totally in the rain, and it took a good while before it lost the rubbery texture and grip to it. So that's another good thing about these. Even if they get slightly wet and maybe you don't have a towel on you, you're going to be completely fine. They've got just the amount of grip that you need. On hole 6 here, I'm going to throw this Vinx again just because I haven't played with it too much yet. And I have been liking that gecko, but we'll see how this one does. Nice and straight, little turn. Little fade back, maybe 25 feet. We're even closer than I thought. Take a couple putts, hopefully take our easy birdie. All right, so far we're 3 down through 6. Not too bad. Hole 7 here is another par 4. Typically, I'm looking for the birdie. It's not super difficult. We'll see if we can pick it up with elevation only. The tee pad is kind of right where you guys are standing with the camera. Nice and wet and muddy. So I'm going to be standing right here to the left of it. And you guys can pray for me that I don't slice my hand on the tee sign. All right, so that one I threw a little slight hyzer, hoping to get a flip up to straight, minimal turn. But that one kind of held the hyzer the whole way. So we're a little left of the middle of the fairway, but we do still have a nice little soft hyzer lined up for us. Arowana, hopefully it'll get us up and down. Okay, I was trying to keep it low. Definitely threw it pretty soft. We're going to have a long look for birdie. We're closer than I thought again, so we'll take it. And hopefully another birdie. Whew, snuck it in there. All right, 4 down through 7. We're at hole 8 now. It's another low ceiling, kind of narrow fairway. So we're going to go with this nice straight Glow G Binks. Pretty dead straight. All right, so this was our best drive yet. We've got like a 10 foot. All right, hole 9. We are 5 down through 8. Hole 9's a par 4, so hopefully we can get one more and be 6 down through 9. That would be awesome. This one kind of just really hyzers off to the left out there. It's got a double mando you got to make it through, so rather than throwing the gecko, I'm gonna try and just be pretty straight, make sure I hit the double mando with this Binks. All right, right in the middle of the fairway, get up and down for birdie. All right, last hole to get up and down for birdie. I'm gonna go with the koi again, just nice and straight. There we go. All right, through the front 9 holes, we ended up 6 down. I was pleasantly surprised with all of Elevation's discs. On these EcoFlex ones, obviously it's very gummy, but in the hand, it's not feeling too much different from a regular disc, so I didn't think there'd be much of a problem there. But with the Glow G putters, they're just so flexible. I thought I was going to lose lots of distance. I thought it would be hard to throw it on any other angle other than hyzer, because you'll notice when you hold it, it kind of folds a little bit in your hand, and it kind of naturally puts itself in that hyzer angle if you're not really throwing it correctly. But I honestly was surprised with the amount of distance that I got, the consistency that I got out of all the discs, and just what you come to expect out of Elevation, the fact that they are going to sit where they hit. All of that was perfectly up to par. I will go ahead and give maybe a few things that I picked up throughout the round, and then we'll close out the video. So for number 1, I would say talking about grip. The grip is one of my things that I love most about Elevation discs. And throughout the round, I noticed even as it gets a little wet, you're still going to have your grip. A downside on the grip is the amount of dirt and leaves, things like that it's going to kind of pick up, and it's going to start to get a little gritty, start to get kind of sandy as you're holding it. So it is still handy to have a towel with you. However, today I went through the round without ever wiping them down, just as a little bit of a test. And I mean, I never really felt anything wrong with it. Just started getting a little dirty. Let's see what else. Distance. So when I was playing this course, I wasn't obviously getting as much distance as I get out of playing with full bag. That's because their drivers are 8-speed and a 9-speed currently. So the get-go, I mean, you got to think your Thunderbirds, your Cap Wraps, like things like that is kind of what you got to be comparing it to as far as your expectations go. Even that 8-speed Binks, as far as a neutral to understable 8-speed, I was really liking its flight, and the distance that I was able to get out of it was surprising with very minimal effort. My leg and my shoulder both have been kind of sore for, at least a couple weeks now, so I was taking it pretty easy today and still was getting pin high on most of these par 3s. I want to say that's just about it. So for anybody else who's still here watching this video, as a little thank you, I'm just going to speed through my shots for the back 9 and see how we end up doing. I also believe there's still 2 more discs that I haven't highlighted yet. So I'll show those on the screen for you guys as I'm throwing them so you can see how those fly as well, just in case you were curious. One more thing I'm going to be doing. I ended 6 down, which my average is probably about 5 down through the front 9 with a full bag. And it's 6 down today. My personal best through the full 18 here at Centennial is 10 down currently. So as I go through this back 9, we're going to see if I could even beat my personal best of 10 down with elevation discs only. I would be pretty mind blown, but we're going to see if it happens and see what it comes down to. So thank you guys for watching.